Now, the last 6 games of the season, the Chicago Bears were first in, rush touchdowns allowed, first in points per game allowed defensively, and they were first in interceptions with 13. So they played really well the last 6 games. Montez Sweat effect. Defensively, they were doing everything right. And Eberflus had the boys playing really well. But heading into this next season, it seems Ryan Poles is addressing more towards the offensive side of the ball. Swift, Keenan Allen, and I think he'll do that with pick 9. He'll probably take a Dunze, or he'll probably take an offensive lineman. So, with that being in mind and keeping that in mind, the Chicago Bears, there should be some moves that we make to address, depth. Getting another edge rusher, maybe a backup corner, because our cornerbacks get hurt. There needs to be some moves that Ryan Poles needs to make before the draft or after the draft. So here are 4 moves I would make if I was Ryan Poles. Now you got to start off with Carl Lawson, versatile edge rusher, a guy that has great strength, great power. He could play, defensive tackle and defensive end. With the Jets, the Bengals, he's had some good seasons. He's similar to Demarcus Walker. He could play multiple positions on the D line. And this is a guy, 5 sacks, couple seasons where he had, above 5 sacks and more with Cincinnati, and with the Jets in 2022, he had 7 sacks. He played all 17 games. Last year, he had a back injury, so he missed some time and fell out of the rotation. But right now, this is probably the best edge rusher free agent available right now. And 28 years old, I think he'll be 29. Still on the younger side. But add him alongside Montez Sweat, and Eberflus could do something special with him. He could be your third best guy, your second best guy, whatever. Great rotational guy, great against the run, versatile, like I said. So this would be a huge get for the Chicago Bears in 2022. He would have been a huge steal, a huge guy to get on free agency market. The next guy I like is Tier Tart. 27 years old, defensive tackle, Tennessee Titans. He spent 4 years with them. Things ended a little on the bad side of things, effort issues, attitude issues. They cut him, but he had some really good years in Tennessee. Was a big reason why that defensive line was so good for many years. It would be a reunion with DeMarcus Walker and a reunion with Kevin Byard. But, second in run stops in 2022. And he also had like 26 quarterback pressures. So he's a good presence up the middle, great run stopper. Him and Andrew Billings. Dexter is still there. We want him to take that second year leap. But if you're not ready for him to be that guy you rely on yet, and you still want to develop him more, bring in a guy like Tart who, has experience, has done it at a high level before, and it would be a cheap contract as well. The next guy I would sign is Jordan Phillips. This is a veteran defensive tackle. He's been in the league for a while. He's a huge fucking dude. 6'6, 341 pounds. He's a big monster, but, up front, he's worked with, Eric Washington, defensive line coach for him in Buffalo for the last 2 seasons. Veteran presence, a guy that that's going to get after the quarterback. He's going to have those quarterback pressures, and that's what we need. We need multiple guys that can get after the quarterback. Montez Sweat can't do it all on his own. So if you have guys that can do that and have, more proven guys, I think our defensive line will get after the quarterback at a better rate. Last year, we were still like the 12th worst team, when it comes to sacks. Even though Montez Sweat was playing well and we were playing well when he came into the picture, we still, as a team, at the end of the season, our stats weren't good, sack number wise. But so getting those 2 guys at the defensive tackle position would be huge. We need more depth at those interior positions. Billings, Dexter, Pickens. I want to see more from Pickens, but let's get some more guys in there to replace, a guy like Justin Jones who had 4.5 sacks last year. Some of those guys on the defense line, it would be huge if we could get those 3 defensive line players. The last guy I have is Rock Ya-Sin. Now, he played with Eberflus, cornerback with the Colts, had some of his best years under Eberflus. Solid corner. If he's your number 1 or number 2 corner, he's average, not great, but as your, third or fourth, you got Terrell Smith, who's played well last year. You still have Jalen Johnson, your number 1 corner, one of the best corners in the NFL, Kyler Gordon in the slot. So you have some talented guys that will be above him, but, as a veteran, a guy that could come in, that the key storyline on this, we need veterans to fill some of these holes, some guys in the locker room that could take this young talented defense to a championship level defense, a defense that will contend for a Super Bowl. So get more veterans that have experience and that can do it at a high level. So Rock Yassin, bring him in, especially with some of our corners. They tend to get banged up and miss some time, so this would be a huge addition for our secondary, I think. So these guys are some guys that I think Ryan Poles should take a look at. They would be cheap. None of these guys are break the bank kind of deals, mostly 1-year deals. With potential to be brought back in an extension like Billings. So let me know what you think of these moves in the comments, and give me some other suggestions that you think Ryan Poles should sign.
He said all the right answers. His PR team, they prepared him pretty well. Says he likes deep dish pizza, has been, doing his homework, studying over Walter Payton, Michael Jordan.
That boy excited. He geeked. When you watching Mike tape, you geek.
Yes.